Some mornings start so quietly, so peacefully, that you never see the storm coming. That Tuesday began like any other. The lake was still, the birds were singing just outside my kitchen window. I had made fresh coffee, the good kind, the kind I always saved for slow mornings, and I was standing at my own breakfast table, in my own home, feeling grateful for the life I had built with my two hands over 63 years. I am Margaret, a widow, a mother, a woman who worked every single day of her life so that her family would never have to struggle the way she once did. This lake house, the one you see behind me in every photograph, the one with the blue shutters and the old oak tree in the yard, I did not inherit it. I earned it. My late husband Raymond and I saved for 11 years to buy this land. We built this house, room by room, sacrifice by sacrifice. After Raymond passed, I kept it, not because it was worth money, but because every wall in this house holds a memory I am not ready to let go of. My son Daniel married Priya 4 years ago. I welcomed her. I truly did. I cooked for her. I gave her space in my home whenever they visited. I treated her like the daughter I never had. But something shifted after Raymond's funeral. I noticed small things at first. The way Priya's eyes moved around the house whenever she visited, not with warmth, but with calculation. The way she asked, almost casually, "Mom, have you ever thought about downsizing?" The way she whispered to Daniel in corners and went quiet when I walked into the room. I told myself I was imagining it. Grief does that to you. It makes you suspicious of shadows. But I was not imagining anything. That Tuesday morning, Priya arrived alone. No Daniel, no phone call ahead. She walked through my front door, the door I had left unlocked because I still believe in trust, sat down at my breakfast table, and folded her hands like she was about to close a business deal. I offered her coffee. She didn't want coffee. What she wanted was the deed to my lake house. She slid a piece of paper across the table, a transfer document, already typed, already prepared. All it needed was my signature. I looked at that paper, then I looked at her, and before I could say a single word, she slapped me. In my own home, at my own table, with my coffee still warm in my hands. The sound of it echoed across the kitchen. My cheek burned, my heart went cold. And in that moment, I made a silent decision that would change everything. I did not cry, not then. I set my coffee cup down very slowly. I looked at Priya, really looked at her, and I saw something I had been refusing to see for 4 years. There was no guilt in her eyes, no shock at what she had just done, only impatience, like I was an obstacle, like I was something standing between her and what she believed she deserved. "Sign it," she said. "Daniel agrees. It's the smart thing to do. You're getting older. You can't manage this property alone." I asked her one question. "Does Daniel know you're here right now?" She didn't answer. She just tapped the paper. I stood up, walked to my bedroom, and closed the door. From behind that door, I called my son. Daniel picked up on the second ring. He sounded normal, relaxed. He had no idea his wife was sitting at his mother's breakfast table with a transfer document and a raised hand. When I told him what happened, the silence on the phone lasted so long I thought the call had dropped. Then he said, "She told me she was visiting a friend." That was the moment I understood the full shape of what was happening. This was not just greed. This was a plan, a quiet, patient, calculated plan that had been growing for years, right underneath my nose. And my son, my own Daniel, had been kept in the dark too. She had been managing both of us, playing us against each other without either of us knowing the board even existed. Over the next few days, the truth unraveled faster than I could have anticipated. A close friend, a woman I have known for 30 years, told me she had seen Priya meeting with a real estate agent 3 weeks earlier. They had toured the lake house property together. Priya had described herself as the future owner. She had already gotten an estimated sale value. She had been planning to sell my home, Raymond's home, the house with the blue shutters and the oak tree and 30 years of our life pressed into every floorboard. I sat with that information for one full night. I let myself feel every piece of it.
The betrayal, the humiliation, the grief. I cried. I am not ashamed to say that. I cried for a long time. But by morning, something inside me had shifted. The pain was still there. It did not disappear. But underneath the pain, something steadier had taken root. Clarity. I was not going to be managed. I was not going to be rushed out of my own life, and I was not going to sign a single thing. I picked up the phone, not to call Daniel this time. I called my attorney.
My attorney's name is Carol. She has handled my affairs for over 15 years. When I told her what happened, the document, the slap, the real estate meetings, she was quiet for exactly 3 seconds. Then she said, "Margaret, don't touch anything. I'll handle this." Carol moved quickly. Within 48 hours, she had documented everything. The unauthorized transfer document, the real estate consultations Priya had conducted without my knowledge, and most importantly, a witness account of what happened at my breakfast table that Tuesday morning. My neighbor, Mrs. Calloway, had seen Priya's car in my driveway and had knocked on the door minutes after the slap. She had seen my face, she remembered. We filed a report for assault. We sent a formal legal notice to Priya outlining the unauthorized attempt to obtain property through coercion. Carol also contacted the real estate agency Priya had met with and placed them on notice. The consequences came swiftly and without drama, which is often how real justice works. There are no explosions, no shouting matches, just paperwork and truth, and the slow collapse of a plan built on dishonesty. Priya's family intervened once they understood the legal exposure she was facing. There were apologies, formal, carefully worded apologies that felt more like damage control than genuine remorse. I accepted them quietly, not for her sake, for mine. Daniel came to me alone one evening, just before sunset. He sat at the same breakfast table where all of this began. He didn't make excuses. He just said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I should have seen it." I took his hand. Because he is still my son. Because people who love us can be blinded by the people they love. That is one of the oldest and most painful truths in the world. The lake house still stands. The blue shutters need a fresh coat of paint. I'm thinking the same shade Raymond chose all those years ago. The oak tree dropped its leaves last week, and they are scattered all across the yard, gold and quiet and beautiful. I still make coffee on slow mornings. I still watch the lake from my kitchen window. And I have learned something that I want to leave with you today. Your home is not just property. It is your history, your dignity, the proof that your life meant something. Never let anyone rush you out of your own story. And never, never mistake a woman's silence for weakness. Because some of us are simply waiting for the right moment to let the truth do what it was always meant to do. Speak for itself.